The enemy factory. Most riots don't begin with somebody throwing a brick. They begin with somebody throwing a story and repeating it until fear starts sounding like common sense. Wilmington, 1898. Black and white citizens were working together through the Fusion Coalition. People were voting, doing business, building political power, and apparently getting along a little too well for certain people's comfort. Then, Alex Manly published an editorial. His political opponents pulled it out of context, spread it across North Carolina, and presented black political power like it was the trailer for the end of the world. Election day passed without major violence. 2 days later, armed white men marched to the offices of the Daily Record and set the building on fire. Black residents were killed, families were driven out, elected officials were forced from office, and Alex Waddell became mayor. Nothing says protecting democracy quite like overthrowing an elected government because you didn't like the results. But pay attention to the sequence. The violence didn't create the fear prepared the people for the violence. First, the neighbor becomes suspicious, then suspicious becomes dangerous, then dangerous becomes somebody ought to do something. And somehow, somebody always turns out to be an angry armed mob with terrible impulse control. Then came the Red Summer of 1919, Tulsa in 1921, and Rosewood in 1923. Different cities, different accusations, same basic recipe. Take a rumor, add repetition, sprinkle a little racial fear, and serve it up hot to an angry crowd. Suddenly, people are committing violence while believing they're the ones under attack. That's where ignorance becomes useful. A person can be hardworking, educated, and loving toward their own family while completely carrying out a manufactured picture of what people that they've not ever known. Repeat a lie long enough, and it stops sounding like propaganda. It starts sounding like everybody knows that. No, everybody doesn't know that. Everybody heard that. There's a difference. Being manipulated doesn't excuse violence. If you hurt somebody, you're still responsible. But if we only punish the final reaction and never examine what trained that reaction, we leave the factory open, fully staffed and apparently accepting the government contracts. Social engineering doesn't need everybody believing the same